Hello everyone, welcome to Network Ethics. Our today's topic is EVE-NG tool installation for your lab hands-on purpose. Okay, so before going to the lab installation, EVE-NG tool installation, I just want to share something about EVE-NG. EVE-NG it's an emulator, one of the most used emulator tool which can support multi-vendor networking devices like router, switch, firewall, IPS, IDS, okay, and virtual machines. Okay, so it's a wonderful tool for your networking hands-on purpose. Okay, so in our lab we are going to use that tool only for our hands-on purpose. So I just want to uh, tell you how to install your EVE-NG EVE-NG tool for your hands-on purpose, okay, in your laptop or desktop. Before that, so what are the ways we can install this EVE-NG that we are going to see? Okay, so this EVE-NG tool you can install in four different ways. So one, you can install directly in your laptop or desktop by the help of virtualization enhancing software called VMware Workstation or VMware Player. Okay, and at the same time, you can install EVE-NG tool into the virtual server as a virtual server. So here, we are in this virtual server installation. You can install you need one virtualization supporting soft operating system, okay, just like VMware EXSI or NXX, right? So any kind of operating system. Above that operating system we are going to install this EVE-NG tool. Okay, so that installation is called virtual server installation. And physical server, so you don't you have physical hardware, and you can enough hardware if you have. Okay, so this installation method you need a more hardware to install your EVE-NG in as a physical server. Bare metal, we call it as a bare metal installation. Okay, bare metal installations. Okay guys, so for bare metal installation you need a huge hardware. So we are deploying EVE-NG as a dedicated operating system and with a dedicated hardware. Okay, so sorry guys, and then you can install this EVE-NG into your cloud platform. Google Cloud is officially now it is supporting EVE-NG installation, EVE-NG tool installation, and you can also install in Azure. Okay, so you can install in a Google Cloud, I mean any cloud platform, EVE-NG. Okay, guys. So these are all the four installation method we have, and which when which kind of when we need to choose any one of this kind of installation and which scenario. So which scenario we need to choose any one of this. Okay, installation. So I have some specific hardware. Okay, so I have less hardware. I have one laptop or desktop that in that laptop or desktop I can able to install EVE-NG. Okay, so this is need less hardware requirement than these two options. Okay, so in your desktop you can let's assume I have an i5 processor, core i5 processor, and then 200 GB storage in my hard disk. Okay, and then my processor support the virtualization VTX feature. Okay, and I have 8 GB RAM. This is fair enough. I can able to, this is the minimum recommended installation, I mean minimum recommended hardware prerequisite requirement, hardware requirement to install your laptop, EVE-NG on your laptop or desktop, guys. Okay, so if I have this much of hardware in my desktop or laptop, I can go this installation so that the control, all the entire EVE-NG control is going to have in my hands. Okay, and I can, whenever I want, I can use this because it's my hardware. uh, it's my own hardware. So whenever I'm going to uh, do my hands on, I can just switch on my laptop and I can go with this. I can enable these tools. I can work with these tools, right? So this is the installation method we are going to do as of now. Okay, and another three installation method, I just want to give you some idea. Okay, so virtual server, I already we already discussed what is virtual server. I have uh, one hardware, good hardware. Let's say I have one uh, rack server, Dell. Example hardware is Dell. In that Dell, okay, Dell server, it's already running with some operating system. Let's say that operating system might be Windows server or any let's say that is a Windows 11 or 10. Okay, any operating system, it's already I have installed. Okay, or else, sorry guys, I'm really sorry, this is not for Windows I'm having one operating system, that operating system called EXSI virtualization, EXSI operating system or NSX. These two operating system are sup which is supporting the virtualization, which is enhancing the virtualization. Okay, so this is from VMware. This is a VMware operating system. These two operating system are VMware operating system. In my hardware, I already running any one of this. Let's say I'm running EXSI 6.x operating system. Okay, so already I have own hardware, and this hardware already I am running on virtualization server. Above the virtualization inside, above this virtualization server, I just want to install EVE-NG. So in that case, if you want to install your EVE-NG, you can able to install it. Okay, so because EVE-NG itself, it's in a virtualization kind of virtualization software. Okay, I'm going to install already one operating system which is supporting the virtualization feature. Okay, so it's just like we are doing nested virtualizations. Okay, so if I want to install the above that already running operating system which is supporting the virtualization EXSI or NXS, if you want to install even, yes, you can able to install. For this installation, you need some more uh, com comparatively laptop. You can install the EVE-NG laptop or desktop, whatever the hardware minimum requirement is needed. More than higher hardware higher hardware you need to install your VMware EVE-NG on your virtual server. So let's say minimum almost you need 16 GB RAM. It's a minimum recommendation for virtualization server. Okay, and then 512 512 GB storage minimum recommendation for your EVE-NG installation, and then Core 8 core at okay, 8 minimum you need 8 core processor. Sorry, yes, 8 core processor you need to install this virtualization server, guys. Okay, and along with that, your hardware should support the virtualization, mm, nested virtualization. So that is VTX feature. If it is in a Intel processor, it should support the VTX feature. Okay, uh, okay, so this installation called virtual server installation, and physical server, previously we install, just like how we install we are planning to install EVE-NG into the on the top of EXSI operating system. Previously the same hardware Dell rack server I have. Okay, and above that I have installed, previously we have installed Dell, and then previously we installed EXSI, and above we installed EVE-NG, right? EVE-NG tool, right? So this time we are directly in between, we have previously in between we have EXSI operating system which is supporting the virtualization. Now this time we are eliminating that. We are directly, we have the same hardware, and In the same hardware, we are installing the EVE-NG. Above, I have one Dell server, and I am installing EVE-NG operating system directly on the Dell server. So this is called physical server installation or bare metal installation. Bare metal installation, guys. Okay, so physical server installation or bare metal installation. So for this, we need higher hardware requirement than your virtual server, whatever we need, right? So minimum recommendation is 16 core processor, and then 64 GB RAM, and then 2 TB hard disks you need. Okay. And VTX feature should be supported. Okay, yes. So these are all the hardware requirement. Okay, so now the comparatively then laptop virtual server installation, physical server installation need more hardware requirement than other previous two installation method. Okay, so if you have your already you have one physical server, you want to install directly on that server, you don't install EVE-NG, then yeah, if you are able to meet these requirements, then you can go with that physical server installation. Or if you have only 8 core CPU, already I have one physical server, and that physical server I already were running with the virtualization operating system EXSI or NXS. I want to install above of that operating system, then you can go with a virtual server installation. And in case I don't have this much hardwares for virtual server installation or physical server installation, I have only i5 processor, and then 8 GB RAM. Okay, I have i5 or i7 processor and 8 GB RAM and 100 GB or 200 GB hard disk space, and my processor support the virtualization feature. Then you can still so I can I able to install my EVE-NG on my own laptop desktop, so for my further hands-on purpose, right? So yes, you can install it. You can go to this installation method. Okay, yes. So in case I have old hardware. I'm unable to meet this hardware requirements for laptop or desktop installation, even installation that process. Okay, then you can go with a you have alternate option. I have only i3 processors and i3 processor, and then 4 GB RAM and 100 GB storage only I have in my hard disk. Okay, and with my device not supporting the VTX feature, then it's fine. So if for you guys you have awesome option, you can go with the Google Cloud installation, guys. Google Cloud installation, EVE-NG you can install in the Google Cloud platform. Okay, so there you can take a 8 core CPU, 16 to 32 GB RAM. Okay, and you can take 200 to up to 2 TB. So for us, it's not necessary that much hard disk. Okay, storage you no need to take that much. You can just choose 200 GB. It's enough. Okay, so 200 GB storage. Okay, and virtualization support, VTX feature, all this virtual nested virtualization feature is going to support. Okay, and then operating system directly we are going to use Ubuntu. Okay, all the requirement we can able to meet when you are going to install your EVE-NG on Google Cloud platform with a free of cost for next 90 days. Okay, 90 days free of cost. So you can complete your entire courses and you can do well hands-on. Okay, on these 90 days, guys. So my recommendation, if you are not having enough hardware, instead of upgrading your hardwares by spending money to upgrade your hardwares, so you can for just uh, to learn that particular product, so you can go with the Google Cloud installation, guys. Okay, so that you can use that cost for your certification purpose or further your training. Okay, so anything you can able to use it, guys. So that's my recommendation. If you don't have enough hardware, I have one some normal laptop which is not able to meet a basic requirement to install the EVE-NG, then it's fine. You can go with the Google Cloud platform. If you Okay, that I'll tell you how to install and all in further sessions, or I'll you can contact me. I'll help you for that, guys. Okay, fine. So our today's session is about to install EVE-NG on laptop or desktop only. So I just want to further discuss go with the laptop or desktop installation EVE-NG. Okay, so this laptop or desktop installation, you can do it. You can use two type of files to install EVE-NG. So ISO file, OVF file. Okay, for if you're using ISO file to install your EVE-NG, you need a internet connectivity. Okay, you need a internet connectivity. You need to have completely. You need internet connectivity to complete your entire installation. Internet connection you need to complete your entire installation. And if you're using a OVF file, it's already pre-installed virtual machine, so that even it's pre-installed, you can just use that operating system and you can run directly. You can run the EVE-NG installation, guys. That is already pre-installed operating system. Okay, so from EVE-NG they are recommending to use ISO file than OVF file, so that if you have a minimum hardware also, your device can comparatively your device can work efficiently in the ISO file format. If you're using a OVF, okay, that there also you can use it, but comparatively when you're having a minimum hardware specifications. Okay, so its ISO file is suitable. So today we are going to see how to install EVE-NG on your laptop or desktop. Okay, by the by ISO file, by using ISO file, guys. Okay, so okay, so let's start the install. Sorry, before starting the installation, EVE-NG installation in a laptop or desktop, I want to discuss about the requirements. Okay, in this method. Okay, so the requirements we already I given an overview. So this is your minimum and recommended hardware requirements when you are going to install EVE-NG on your laptop or desktop, guys. Okay, so you need, as I said, you need minimum i5 processor, and if you Intel iCore. Okay, if you have a AMD processor, that's fine. In your AMD processor also you can able to install. So equivalent for i5 processor, if you have a AMD processor, equivalent AMD processor you should have. Okay, and then minimum RAM requirement is 6 GB RAM to install your EVE-NG, and minimum hard disk space is 40 GB. But the reason, inside the EVE-NG, we are going to install on maybe Windows operating system, maybe based on your hands on the which tool you are going to do, maybe router, switch, firewall, right? So a server machine, client machine, so that any individual, if even though if you're in, let's say if you're installing EVE-NG, inside the EVE-NG, you're going to install one client machine. Okay, so let's say that is a Windows 10 operating system. That 10 operating system, one machine itself, minimum need will take 25 GB storage to it will occupy 25 GB storage to run that operating system. Okay, so in your topology, you're not only going to work with only your Windows machine, you're working with a Palo. So in future, it might be, it depends on the product which you are learning, that router, switch, may client machines like uh, Windows machine, and then Linux machine, any Linux machine, right? Or Windows Server machine, or firewall, right? Anything. Okay, guys. So that device's operating system also needs some storage to run, right? So it minimum, yes, you can install EVE-NG 40 for 40 GB storage itself in your hardware, but when you're working with a huge topology, complex network topologies, that time you need a storage. So better if you have 100, you can just assume minimum is 100 GB storage, and recommended is you in your hard disk you need a 200 GB space. Okay, storage. Okay, guys. And then you need I we told you, right? So, we need, when you're going to install your EVE-NG, you need a internet connectivity. So you need Ethernet adapter with the internet connectivity. That might be any type of adapter, wireless or Ethernet, or wired Ethernet or wireless Ethernet. Okay, and then your processor and motherboard should support the, if it is in a Intel processor, or your motherboard and, sorry, yes, just a minute. It's in a Intel processor, and it should have a Intel VTX feature. It should support the Intel VTX feature or EPT feature, which is enhancing the virtualization, which is supporting the enhancing the virtualization engine. Okay, and if you have a AMD processor and its equivalent feature AMD V-V or RVI, which is enhancing the virtualization. So that feature your processor and your motherboard should support that process. Okay, feature. This is your minimum hardware requirement, and recommended hardware is i7 processor, core i7, and then the relevant AMD processor, and minimum recommended RAM is 8 GB, and hard disk space is 200 GB, and you should have a Ethernet adapters with the internet connectivity, and your processor and motherboard should support the Intel VTX feature and RVA feature. Okay, so to enhance your virtualization inside. Okay, yes, these are all the hardware requirements. What about the software? Whatever the software we need to install events. First, in your laptop or desktop, you are going to install that virtualization support, which is we are going to install one software or tool which is enhancing the virtualization. So that tool is VMware Workstation. You have to download and install in your base laptop or desktop. Okay, so that might be run in your laptop, that it may run on your Windows operating system or Linux operating system. So any operating system, based on that operating system version, you have to download this, you have to download and install this tool, VMware Workstation or VMware Player. So minimum it should be 15.x, okay, version, or later than that 16, 17. Okay, as of now 17.x is going on. Okay, so you can choose anything bef 15.x and later version you can install in your machine. So if you are installing before versions, so this EVE-NG 5.x version is not going to support. Okay, and then any one of these tool you need to install above on your operating system, and after that you need the OVF file or ISO file of EVE-NG. So basically the EVE-NG, it's in a tool. It's supported by the Ubuntu operating system. Mother operating system of EVE-NG tool is Ubuntu. So you are going to install Ubuntu operating system on your laptop or desktop by the help of your virtualization softwares, VMware Workstation or VMware Player, right? And along with that, by inside that VMware Workstation or Player, you're going to install Ubuntu operating system, and it should, the EVE-NG will support Ubuntu 16.x or later version. So right now it's 20.x versions or editions are going on. Okay, so you can download that Ubuntu 16.x or later versions. Okay, and any of OVF file you can use, or ISO file. In our scenario, we are going to use ISO file. Okay, in our scenario, we are going to use ISO file, guys. Okay, so that's all about the requirements. These are the requirements to install the EVE-NG. We'll see the installation of EVE-NG in a upcoming video as a part 2 of this video's continuation. Thank you for watching, guys.